Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Dano. I'm here because a couple days ago, a young boy, I think it happened 2 days ago, a young boy was snatched in the water by alligator. And sorry about the fan. I have that over there blowing. It's pretty hot today. Um, and of course, the AC is kind of sucky. Well, the central air. Um, yeah, a boy was snatched 2 days ago on a Disney resort uh, in Orlando, Florida. He was snatched by an alligator. Um, and the reason why I'm making this video is because I want to see what's going to happen. Because just a couple weeks ago we had this big incident where this gorilla was shot and able to save this boy who had fell into the gorilla enclosure. He was like 4 years old, fell into a gorilla enclosure, and the gorilla was, pulling around. The gorilla was trying to protect him, but the gorilla's an animal. He didn't know what he was doing. He was putting the child around, and then they were afraid for the child's safety. So they ended up shooting the gorilla um, rather than tranquilize him. They killed the gorilla. So a lot of people were outraged about that, and I think that the whole thing was a racial issue because before people found out the race of the child and the child's parents, people were like, "Oh, it's sad that the gorilla was killed, but I'm just glad that they saved the child." Then when they found out that the child was black, then everybody started to lose their shit. Everybody said that they should have killed the chimp instead of the gorilla, referring to the black kid as a chimp. People started signing these petitions. People started to do all this other crazy shit, and I have this all documented. My opinions on the whole matter in my other videos. It was a witch hunt. They conducted a witch hunt for these parents. I mean, they were out for these parents' blood. They was out for the father, and he wasn't even there. He wasn't even there. But they put up all his criminal history and all this other stuff, shit that had nothing to do with anything. You know what I'm saying? They went and dug up all this family's history, blasted it all over the internet, and people were trying to make it seem like this wasn't a racial thing when it was very racial. It had everything to do with race. I mean, if you were going through the internet at the time, in the comment sections of websites, news websites, even on YouTube in the comment section, you've seen thousands of racial comments. People wanted the gorilla over the damn child, which is just absolutely sickening. You know, I'm not surprised at all. But I'm just talking about how disgusting majority of white people are. They're sick, they're evil, and they're gonna atone for it one day. But now this white child, was snatched down in Florida, and the case is very similar to the gorilla case. The child wasn't supposed to be behind the gorilla enclosure, of course, but there was no signs, anything like that. But everybody with common sense, besides young children, know that you shouldn't be back there. So I don't blame either of the children for what they did because they're too young to really understand the implications of their actions. But in this case, there was a sign on the beach saying no swimming. And now, as before, I believe that two parties are responsible for this child's death. The kid with the gorilla incident, he didn't die. But I believe that the parents in the zoo were both responsible because if a 4-year-old can climb behind a fence, just imagine what an adult can do. They need to tighten up their security and their fencing and all that stuff, because that couldn't happen at the Columbus Zoo. You know what I'm saying? Our zoo is much more secure. But here, in this case, there was a sign on the beach saying "Do not swim in the water." They didn't want people in the water. What they should have did down there, because I watched a video where people have been warning them for years, saying that there's fucking alligators in the water. I mean, why wouldn't there be? This is Orlando, Florida. The Everglades is not that far from outside of Orlando, Florida. I have been to Florida many times before. There's alligators fucking everywhere down there. And they don't think that a damn alligator would slip into a a Disney reserve, or I mean, sorry, a Disney resort. Sorry, that's a reserve. When the waterways are connected to the waterways, I mean, because this is a man-made lagoon, but it's connected to actual rivers and creeks and stuff like that where alligators are in. So why don't they have a sign out there warning people about alligators? You know what I'm saying? So I believe that they're partially responsible for this, but also the parents are responsible for this too, because it said no swimming. They don't. It tells them not to swim in the water, not to get in the water. There's signs saying that on the beach. Yet this child's parents let the kid go into the water by himself. The parents were on the beach when a 2-year-old child was out in the water by himself. That makes no fucking sense at all to me. If anything, you would be worried about the child drowning. You know what I'm saying? Even if you don't think that there's alligators in there, you would worry about the child drowning. How the hell are the parents up on the beach when a child is out in the water? That makes no sense at all. So this is a true form of neglect. So let's see if the parents will be charged with neglect. Let's see if there will be this witch hunt, because guess what? In the case of the gorilla, one animal was killed. In this case, 5 animals were killed for them trying to recover the body of the child. And guess what? I don't know. I'm not sure exactly why they killed the alligator. Was it because they were trying to recover the child's body? Because usually when they kill alligators for 2 different reasons, they just want to get rid of the nuisance crocodile. I mean, the nuisance animal, or they're trying to kill the animal to recover, the body or pieces of the body or whatever. But they killed 5 alligators. Instead of relocating them, they killed 5 of them. So let's see if there will be the same type of outrage for the gorilla that was killed over the child. Let's see if there will be that same type of outrage. Let's see if people will make petitions. Let's see if people will pull out this family's information and blast it all over the internet. Let's see if they will try to trump up charges, because this will prove the hypocrisy. I bet money that it will not get as big as if it does. I'd be very surprised. If it does, I'd be surprised. You know what I'm saying? But let's see if it gets as big as the whole gorilla thing, and let's see if America has the double standards that we know America has. White privilege. I don't want to call it white privilege, because that makes it sound like people can opt out of it, and I didn't think about that before until Tariq Nasheed mentioned that. The whole thing about white privilege, it sunk in. It made sense to me when he said that when white people say white privilege, they make it seem like it's something that they can opt out of, when they can't. It's something that white people will get no matter what. Even if a white person doesn't want to, give into white society, white supremacy will still aid them no matter what. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, this is straight up white supremacy, and we will see these double standards. And the world is just gonna pass it by like it ain't nothing. The whole double standards things, because this happens all the time. The same thing with Brock, how he raped an unconscious woman, and yeah, he got a slap on the wrist compared to the black guy who did the same thing, and this guy got like 25 years behind bars, which is absolutely crazy. But this is the society we live in. The society of double standards, and people like Red Pill try to say that there's an infantilization of black people. Get the fuck out of here. If anything, there's an infantilization of white people. Remember the white woman who tried to slice the white guy's throat, the cop's throat? You remember that one, don't you, Red Pill? Because I remember you covered that story. She got away with attempted murder on a police officer. That shit doesn't happen to black people. So, infantilization, come on, you're full of shit, and you know it. I'll debate you any day on it. And the same thing to the people who try to say that blacks commit more crimes. Well, guess what? Blacks are charged with more crimes. We're charged more. We're indicted more. You know what I'm saying? We're persecuted more for these same crimes that white people commit more than we do. Yet, we're charged for it and they get away with it. So more things are illegal for black people to do. This is why the crime statistics are the way they are. Because, this white guy, he tried to say that 13% of the population, 13% of the U.S. population are committing the most crimes. He's talking about black people. But the thing is that if you look, more things we do are illegal than what people do. Like, when we do the same thing they do, it's illegal for us to do it. Period. Like, the whole gorilla enclosure thing. Let's see if this woman, her husband will be pursued. Because I'm sure it's not going to be the same thing at all. Even though it resulted in the death of 5 animals instead of 1. Same thing with the rape case, Brock, and then the black dude. I think he was like I think he played football. He was a football player. They committed the same crime. Yet the black guy got 25 years. The white guy got 6 months, and they said that he's going to be doing 3 months behind prison. So yeah, it proves the statistics right. When they say that whites are charged less than blacks. They serve lesser prison times than blacks. It's so true. I mean, but this is the double standards we live in. And the red pill want to say that this is an infantilization of black people. That guy is an idiot. He's a complete idiot. I'll debate him any day. There's been this one guy who has like a little South Park character, Avatar. He was like talking shit, saying that he would debate me. I'm like, okay, let's do a Google Hangout. Let's do a Skype debate. We can record it. We can put it online. You know what I'm saying? And this guy, he got scared because he's like, no, we can talk right here in the comment section. I'm like, come on, dog. It's much easier to talk, person to person rather than typing all that bullshit, because anybody can say anything. But see, this is the thing. The reason why I like to debate person to person or face to face in person is because then the cowardness, the braveness leaves. That whole keyboard warrior stuff leaves when you're actually talking to a person. Don't get me wrong. People still act like they're brave when they're talking to people behind computer screens, even in Skype and stuff like that. But when you're actually talking to a person, hear the person's voice, a lot of cowards seize up and they're not the same way, and then they can't run all that bullshit, because it's easy to type bullshit and then get hit back up, 5 to 10 minutes later with a comment. But when you're right there to address that bullshit, a lot of people don't come with that bullshit, because you can refute it right then and there, and you can pull up stats, you can pull up facts, you know what I'm saying? And all they can do is just shut the fuck up and look stupid. And that's what I'm all about. I'm all about that. So he didn't want to do that, so I was like, shut up. I blocked his ass. I was like, I ain't got time for this. Block. That's what I do when I find out that people are wasting my time. I just block the hell out of them. But I will debate anybody. I'm not afraid to debate anybody at all. I will debate you. I've been debating my whole life. I'm not even joking. Like, I developed great debating skills simply from, my life growing up. But anyways, I'm not here to brag or anything like that. But let's see these double standards that America has. I'm just waiting. I will be making more videos on this. I'm sure there'll be a lot of other people making videos on this about the double standards of America and how, black people, it's more things for them to, for us, period. More things are illegal for us than there are for white people, because this is straight up child endangerment by allowing a child to be out there. Because when you read the news reports, see, in this video right here, they try to say that the parents were on the beach, that the whole entire family was on the beach, even the child, and the child got snatched. No, when you actually read the news reports, don't listen to these dumbass videos. When you actually read the news reports, they said that the child was in the water. He was wading in the water while the parents were up on the beach. So, yeah, that's straight up, I would say that's straight up child neglect. That's child endangerment. I mean, that really is child neglect when you let your child go off into the water when it says no swimming, you know what I'm saying, and you're up on the beach. So let's see what happens. Let's see if there are charges. Let's see if people will make petitions. you know, and all the same shit that they did towards this black family, because it has everything to do with race. People try to argue and say that it has nothing to do with race. Bullshit. And the reason why I say that, because with the whole gorilla thing, this type of incident has happened many times before, where little white children have fell into animal enclosures. There's this one case where this young white girl fell into a jaguar enclosure. She fell in there. The jaguar didn't attack her or touch her at all, but this girl, so she had like, she was unconscious. She was knocked unconscious. She was in critical condition when she was taken to the hospital, and yet the mother wasn't charged with child neglect or anything like that. There wasn't a witch hunt for the mother. You know what I'm saying? There wasn't none of this stuff. Yet when it happened, and this was just like 2 years ago when this event happened. But yet with this whole gorilla thing, this is like the first time I ever heard this happen to a black kid. Now everybody wants the parents' blood. Now everybody is outraged for some reason. You know what I'm saying? Because usually when this happens, they're like, "Oh, poor child, poor baby. I'm glad the child was all right." You know, all this bullshit. But now since it happened to a black child, now they don't give a fuck. They want blood. You know what I'm saying? So let's see. But I'm not surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if America shows there's double standards, because they show it very often. Very often. But yeah, this is all I have to say for now. I would definitely be making more videos on this, you know, covering this whole thing. Yeah, if you want to see, you know, because look, all you have to do is just type in sign. And I was like, okay, because I was wondering, I was like, there was no signs, because usually when you go to places like this, they will tell you not to swim in the water, stuff like that. So I did a quick little, I think it's Control F, which is Control Find, and I typed in signs, and it was like bloop right there, no signs. So yeah, read this article, read this actual article, and it will tell you that the parents were on the beach, and that yeah, because look, it says a handful of people witnessed the attack and supplied police with information. Witnesses said that the family was on the beach and the boy's sister was in the playpen about 20 to 30 feet away from the water, according to Demings. The toddler was nearby, wading in the water. Yeah, okay, so there was no swimming sign. There are no swimming signs at the lagoon, and no one but the child was in the water at the time of the attack, Demings said. So yeah, but in this video, if you were to check out this other video that I had up, they were trying to say that the child was on the beach when he got attacked, which is complete bullshit. And that's them trying to cover to make it seem like the parents weren't being irresponsible at the time. Now, I'm not trying to say that these parents are irresponsible in general, but I'm just saying at this moment they were being irresponsible. Period. So yeah, that's basically all I have to say. Talk to you guys later. And if you want to debate me, holla at me. We can set up a time. We can set up a time and a date, and we're good. We're good. We can go ahead and debate. You can you can debate me, and we'll have a good time debating. I'll just say that. All right. Talk to you guys later. Peace.